What's up, guys? There's a lot going on in economic news and Congress legislation unfolding. This is your stimulus package and stimulus check update. Now we have inflation at a 40-year high, the highest inflation since the 1980s. Besides, we have a Russia and Ukraine war that's causing oil and gas prices to spike as the United States has cut off Russian oil supplies. We also battling with a pandemic that has thrown our supply chains out of whack. Now the cost of goods are just skyrocketing along with gas. In addition, all of the previous stimulus packages and provisions that were provided to states have surpluses of funds coming out, and they're talking about more direct assistance to people in the form of state stimulus checks. Also, we got federal level proposals that are currently hitting us as saying people might need some more stimulus checks to help them out through this time. This is federal for everybody in the entire nation. New legislation is being proposed, so let's go ahead and dive into the latest with the gas and inflation stimulus checks, pandemic stimulus checks. This article came out over the weekend and it says Maryland and Georgia on Friday temporarily halted their state's gas taxes to provide some relief to Americans at a pump amid a spike in fuel prices. Maryland became the first state to enact legislation suspending gas taxes, which saves residents 36.1 cents per gallon for gasoline and 36.85 cents per gallon of diesel when Governor Larry Hogan signed legislation to halt the surcharge for 30 days. Hawkins has also previously thrown his support behind legislation suspending automatic increases to the state's gas tax. This bipartisan action will provide some relief from the pain at the pump, and is possible because of the prudent fiscal steps that we have taken, which have resulted in a record budget surplus. Hawkins said in a statement, "This is of course not a cure-all, and market instability will continue to lead to fluctuations in prices, but we will continue to use every tool at our disposal to provide relief to Marylanders." Hogan and top state legislators said last week that they were working toward 30 days gas tax suspension. Georgia also temporarily suspended its gas tax on Friday, with pause effective through the end of May. In the coming days, the suspension of the 29.1 cent tax on motor fuel and 32.6 cent tax on diesel will make its way to consumers. Georgia Governor Kemp, who is running for re-election this year, tweeted, "Though we can't fix everything Washington has broken, we're doing our part to lessen the impact on Georgians' wallets." Governors and state legislators in several other states are also considering moves to alleviate the impact for drivers as the U.S. sees gas prices reach new highs. The national average gas price was $4.262 per gallon on Saturday, with the country seeing that average reach a record high of $4.331 per gallon last week, according to data from AAA. However, not all governors are in agreement about pausing state gas taxes. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signaled she is likely to veto legislation that would put a 6-month pause on the state's 27.2 cent per gallon state gas tax, calling for suspension of the federal gas tax instead. "We shouldn't be pausing it on a state level. We should be doing this for everybody in the entire nation." Now, one of the arguments against this is they're saying that even if they stop it on a state level, would the oil companies bring the gas prices down as well, or would they just see the bigger profits margins and pocket that? Also, I reported to you that there has been federal legislation proposal that if they do that, to tax them on the difference of their 2015 and 2019 average price to where they are at now, take 50% of that and send it out to the form of quarterly stimulus checks. So if oil companies decide not to lower the prices despite these taxes being removed, it looks like they might pay a hefty tax as well. Next step is New Jersey. This article came out over the weekend that says New Jersey gas tax will be rolled back to ease rising prices at the pump under a new bill. And as a state, Senator Shirley Turner on Wednesday said that she plans to introduce legislation to roll back New Jersey's gas tax for 60 days as prices at the pump hit new record highs. The move is one of several announced by lawmakers in recent days amid the highest inflation in 40 years. The annual rate of inflation in the U.S. accelerated by 7.9% in February, led by a 43.6% average increase in fuel oil prices across the nation. Incredible. Almost 50% increase. The average price of a gallon of gasoline in New Jersey was $4.267 on Thursday, a year-over-year increase in nearly 50%, according to data from AAA Northwest. The average price per gallon of diesel fuel was $5.155. The high cost of gas is impacting us residents who are now spending a larger amount of their household budget to pay for gas and are left with a lot less of food and other expenses. When gas prices increase, it has a ripple effect throughout the economy and increases the cost of everything else at the same time when crushing inflation is already causing people to make sacrifices and forego even basic necessities, such as food and medicine. New Jersey's gas tax is 42.4 cents per gallon, which is the fourth highest in the nation. Turner said her plan would roll back the tax for gas and diesel fuel to the 2016 rate of 40.5 cents for 60 days. Turner's proposal comes the week after state senators Edward Durr. He proposed legislation to give taxpayers an immediate $250 to $500 tax credit, aka a state stimulus check. Durr's plan was part of the state's GOP larger Give It Back initiative. Would give the $500 tax credit to families earning less than $250,000. Single or individual filers earning less than $125,000 would get $250. Lawmakers at a federal level are also calling for their own measures to address soaring prices. New Jersey's U.S. Representative Frank Pallone, chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, has called on oil company executives to explain why fuel costs are so high and said the industry appears to be taking advantage of the crisis for its own benefit. As I mentioned, on a federal level, legislation is being proposed, and they're saying oil companies, we're suffering right now. You shouldn't be taking advantage of this. You need to bring those prices down, and we're going to try to figure out a way to get them to comply to help our people as we get in this 40-year high of inflation and oil and gas prices are spiking. And that is one of the arguments right now against the gas tax holidays and removing the state gas taxes, that even if we do this, our oil company is going to comply and bring down the prices or just pocket bigger margins of profits. A lot of people are saying send out the checks, but also people are saying that doesn't directly help those that are commuting more. There might be people that aren't even driving that are just gonna get stimulus checks. Other people are saying that everybody needs it right now as we're still battling with the pandemic and states have surpluses of funds. Take a look. Governor Mills opposes payments of $850 to qualifying Mainers as she revised the state budget. And Mainers will get another $100 each under the revised budget proposal released by the Governor Janet Mills on Friday, bringing the total amount of direct relief checks that will be distributed to residents from the state's estimated $1.2 billion budget surplus to $850 each. The governor's change package, which must be approved by the legislature, is intended to help Mainers in the face of record inflation and rising oil and gas prices caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Mills said. Under the governor's proposal, the $850 check would go to taxpayers who earn less than $75,000 as individuals and $150,000 as a household. A group of about 800,000 people would be included, those that are relying on Social Security and retirement income, the self-employed and certain business owners. If approved as a part of supplemental budget, checks will start being issued on July 1st. So that is pretty much the latest on stimulus checks on state and federal levels. We're hearing about new creative ways that Congress is thinking on a federal level to distribute out new stimulus checks either on a quarterly or monthly basis. I suppose the very likely direct relief payments like stimulus checks, child tax credits, we're going to be hearing a lot more of this as we get through the years closer to election time. And as always, thank you so much for joining me, and if you haven't already, don't forget to smash the like button. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you later.